Greetings! I'm Wizrobe, and this is the Curiosity Shop, the Zelda Dungeon video mailbag, where I answer your questions for Ganon! The first question is from Kishi. What are your favorite and least favorite Zelda games? My favorite is A Link to the Past, because it is the only game in the series where Ganon is in power for most of the game. My least favorite would have to be Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, purely because Ganon is dead for pretty much the entire game. Alas, it does turn out that the game over screen is pretty cool because you get to see Ganon. It's even more enjoyable than it usually is to see Link die. Michael Bagatti asks, what is your favorite island from the Wind Waker? What makes it your favorite? Definitely the Forsaken Fortress. Reasons why involve that it is forsaken and that it is dark. Also, it's a pretty good fortress. It's very easy to defend. You can only really get in through one door. It does so happen that we don't really guard it from the sky, but who's coming from the sky? The Rito are nothing but postmen, and we already got Dragon Roost Island anyway. We have the Helmasaur King, nothing's coming in through the sky, and that gate's pretty well guarded by cannons. So yeah, it's a pretty good place. It's pretty sweet. I like it. Gerverdua asks, what is the hardest enemy in Zelda you have ever faced? Definitely Link. I've never fought an enemy tougher than Link. Oh, he's so hard to beat. I've never done it, actually. He's pretty tough. He's kind of an asshole, too. Rebecca Rue asks, if you had to choose between the Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, what would it be? Well, that's kind of a hard question in a way, because they're both very good representations of Ganon. Wind Waker, it was a deeper way to show my master. It told us a lot more about him, and I liked that about it. But at the same time, it showed him at his weakest. He was much softer in that game. They showed more of his human side. Additionally, at the beginning, even in the intro, he was defeated by the forces of good. And he just generally had a rough time in the Wind Waker, and at the end, of course, he was foiled and he died. But he actually died. That's one reason I have trouble distinguishing it from Twilight Princess, because they both have him die. Twilight Princess, on the other hand, had Link face off against a very frightening array of minions of the Army of Darkness. And Ganon was much more scary in that game. He was a very tough villain. But I say villain in the most positive possible sense, because, obviously, I like Ganon. I like him a lot. So, of the two, I think I would have to pick Twilight Princess, just because it was a better representation of Ganon, and he was slightly better off in that one. Ivan Babak asks, in your last mailbag you said that Agahnim is Ganon, but Agahnim was in the light world, while Ganon was sealed in the dark world. Agahnim meant to break the seal so that Ganon can go back to the light world. If Agahnim is Ganon, why would he try to break the seal when he's already in the light world? Well, you do not understand the power of Ganon. He can do anything. He can do anything he wants, especially when he has Triforce, which he had pretty much all of A Link to the Past, mind you. He can simply project his force out and create a body in the light world. Even the seal can't stop him from doing this. It's a way he can undo his own seal. Also, just while we're on the subject, the dark world is kind of a misleading name. I mean, I don't mind it, but it misleads most people. It's actually a very nice place. Kiryadin asks, can you help me out here? In the Wind Waker at the end, the Hyrule King wishes on the Triforce that Hyrule be drowned. But it was already drowned at the beginning of the game, as we can see in the introduction story. so the wish doesn't make sense. Or does it? Well, I don't like to talk about this part, but if you insist, I guess I must. In the beginning, Ganon got free, and that's awesome. But then the gods decided to step in and flood Hyrule. I'm not a fan of that part, but that's kind of how it went. Anyway, so Ganon, he got free, and his goal was to take over Hyrule by freeing it from the ocean. Hyrule was preserved in a paralyzed state, waiting for Ganon to take it back and take his rightful place as King of Hyrule. Well, he got the Triforce. He finally did it. He defeated that stupid boy Link, and he captured Zelda, and he got all 3 pieces of the Triforce. And then he made his wish, but he didn't touch the Triforce, so the King of Hyrule made his wish. And the King of Hyrule ruined it all by wishing that Hyrule be permanently drowned instead of being preserved under the ocean. That's how it went. I'm not a big fan of it, but that explains the question you're having, I believe. Zerk45 asks, I was playing Majora's Mask, beat it today, and noticed that at Stone Tower Temple, when you flip it upside down, the stones you have to jump across to the temple have Triforces on them. Do you think that the Triforce has something to do with Termina's history? I don't understand this question at all. I mean, I understood Triforce, but that's about the only word I got. What is Termina? I've never heard of that place. I've also never heard of Stone Tower Temple. I've been in a lot of temples, let me tell ya, but I've never been in a Stone Tower one. I have never even heard of a stone tower. Well, obviously I've heard of towers made of stone, but not a place called that. I think you're insane. Raid Nosa J087 asks, I was thinking that Link's mount, or the way he gets around, should be a dragon in Skyward Sword. It would make sense with the sky themes. What do you think? Absolutely not! Rubbish! You know nothing about dragons! They are minions of Ganon and forces of darkness, like I am. They would not willingly help Link. They would destroy and eat him, just like they would eat those Gorons. It's impossible. It's ridiculous. Dizzy Me Up asks, I was wondering if you've played Master's Quest, and if you have, which one do you like better? The original Ocarina of Time or Master's Quest? Well, in a way, Ocarina of Time was a bit better of a design game because of dungeon issues. But in overall, I like Master's Quest better because it's just a more challenging dungeon design. Better defenses, harder for Link to get inside, and many more deaths for him. Eric Buat asks, in The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, if you don't get any bottles before you beat Agahnim, can you get one before having to beat Helmasaur? I need a potion or fairy. You can't beat Helmasaur. He's invincible. His mask is unbreakable. The only thing that would be able to defeat him is a magic... I'm not supposed to talk about that. You can't beat Helmasaur. Benjamin Brown asks, I never understood this. Why does Midna call Zelda the Twilight Princess in the beginning of the game? Because Midna is an idiot. Midna obviously should have ditched Link early on and joined Zant and us. She's just an idiot. It doesn't even come as that much of a surprise that she made that mistake because of all the other mistakes she's made in her life. Zant's Power asks, do you support any specific Zelda timeline? If so, which one? The timeline is not even true. It doesn't exist. The timeline is broken. For every game that comes out, Link dies a zillion times. He dies countless times. The timeline can't exist when the hero dies every game. And dies repeated times every game. The only canon story is that Link dies over and over and over again, and that Ganon and his forces of darkness rise to power and conquer the world with Triforce. Matthew Fryer asks, lately Ganon hasn't been in the spotlight nor the Master Sword, the emblems of the series. What were they thinking? I definitely agree with you. It's completely nonsense. About Ganon, I mean. I'm not a big fan of the Master Sword. It's kind of stupid. I mean, think about it. It's this sword, and it's all glowy, and it kills evil. What kind of originality is that? What does it really add to this series? It's pointless, and it's stupid. They would have been better off not even putting it in, don't you think? I think so. Last question. Odd300 asks, will they have villains other than Ganon and Vaati in future games? No! And that is all for this time. Hopefully you have a better understanding of darkness. Ganon sends his regards. Goodbye. No, not you. Why do you always find us? Eventually. Ah!